This right here is my entire marketing operations, the numbers, the analytics, the things I need to know, running on autopilot with live data. And if you watch to the end of the video, you'll see how to set this up for your own agency and marketing operations. In this dashboard, I can see everything from my live reach, where people are finding me, where in the world they are, to my YouTube, my TikTok, my Instagram. Even on YouTube, I could see the leads coming in per video, so down to the very smallest detail. I could see my conversions and my lead magnets. I could see my calculator, so I could run with views and shorts, and this will manipulate how much I actually make every single month. Everything is live data, and it's tracked down to the smallest detail. I could see my competition. I have a remix bank, so I could see what I could recreate of my competition. So I could take my competitors' videos and turn them into mine. I have my brand deals all stored there. Everything marketing related, money making related is in this dashboard. And here is how you could build the same thing. This 4-layer strategy is exactly how you go about conceptualizing and building this out for yourself. You do not need to be technical, and you do not need to hire an expensive developer. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through these 4 steps so you can build something like this for yourself. Also, I'll be linking this guide for completely free down below, so you can grab that and follow along with this video. Now you might be wondering, well, Shaz, is this important? Is it overkill? This is really important, and this is for these 3 reasons. There's plenty more, but these 3 reasons really hit home. One is numbers are reality. If you're a business owner, you're trying to get to 100K a month and you're at X dollars a month, how do you expect to go from X dollars a month to 100K a month? You don't even know where you are. Now, a lot of you are like, well, Shaz, of course I know your revenue. Okay, great. You know your revenue. You know your P&Ls. You know your team. Awesome. Do you know your landing page conversion rate? You know your email nurture conversion rate? You know your show up rate and your close rate and all those other statistics. You need to know all of those because that is the reality. If you do not know the reality, then how do you expect to change? So numbers are reality. Number 2 is simplification is key. Look at this dashboard system right here. Everything is in one single place. I don't need to go to my CRM data, and then my IG data, then my TikTok, then my GA4, and then my QuickBooks, even go to taxes, to go to all these places and then have to summarize it and then get a virtual assistant. No, everything is in one single place, especially for marketing. Boom, one single place. I'm ready to take action on this data. Leads me to the last point, which is taking action. Action is better than information, but you need information to take action on. Because if you're taking action on stuff that is not your reality, you're not going to go anywhere. So at the end, I'm going to show you, which is the last step, how you could take action using these numbers. So what I could do here is I could say, hey, my YouTube is down 41% on the week. Claude, please go ahead and make sure we're crafting up a strategy to increase this. And Claude will go ahead and do that. So we're organizing information, visualizing it, and taking action on the information. And this is exactly how it works right here. And by the way, if you want to follow along, I have a completely free step-by-step blueprint down in the description. So you could grab that and follow along with the rest of this video. So we're going to hop right into layer 1, which is the most important part, one of the most important parts, that is data sources. All right. You need the right data sources to even make this possible, because again, data is reality. If you're collecting the wrong data from the wrong sources, you don't have the reality. Then you're really screwing yourself because you're automating on a bunch of garbage. It doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to use social media because I get all of my inbound leads, all of my leads from my company through social media. This could work for ads. This could work for outreach. This could work for referrals or whatever you guys do in terms of marketing. We're actually building on this a little bit more. So I'll have more videos for like cold outreach and ads soon. But this is for social media. Use your brain, adapt it to what you need. I have my YouTube, I have my TikTok, my Instagram. These are my big revenue drivers. On YouTube, I want to grab things like my views per video, ABD, subscribers, watch time, my engagement, my CTR, impressions. I want to see my TikTok similar and my Instagram similar as well. All right, cool. Very standard. Well, how do I grab this? There's a few different platforms. You got Appify, you got Windsor, you got Scrape Creators, and you got a whole bunch of other ones. You just need something that could grab every single one of these metrics from all of these platforms. Like ideally, you're not using one platform for this and then one platform for this and then one platform for this. The only one that's a little bit tricky is Twitter. Elon Musk is very weird with Twitter, so you might have to find something different. But you want one platform to grab all of this data. What you're going to do once you have this data is you're going to connect it. So Windsor or Appify, I use both of those. You're going to connect it to each platform using the API. All an API key is, it's very simple, is you're going to be able to take your data for this platform, whatever platform you want, you're going to be able to send it to Claude, which we're using on the back end. So you could take data from your YouTube, your IG, TikTok, you can send it to Claude, And you do that via an API key. And the beauty of this, and this is why it's important to try to work with one single platform, is instead of that last example, we had to grab the Instagram and TikTok and YouTube API keys separately. Some will just have YouTube, IG, TikTok rolled up into one API key through those services. Then you pass that off to Claude. And that's where it gets really powerful because again, you're just simplifying what you have to do. So that's how it works. It gets connected to Claude. Don't worry about any of this OAuth or anything. It'll work itself out. Then automation, let's just call it automation, fires at 6 a.m. every single morning. You can set yours to whatever you want. I could live update mine, but every 6 hours, this updates with live information. You can see this is 1 hour behind. So if I hit sync now, it will update if I would like it to. A Python script runs in the background and it will take that data behind the scenes and it'll display it right in front of me. And that's what you're seeing right there. The data will also be saved. And this is 0 logins, 0 CSV experts, 0 manual work. This is all live as long as you're setting it up on the back end correctly, which is again, you're taking all the platforms you want, so all the platforms you want, rolling it up into an API, and then sending that API to Claude. And Claude will do the rest. You'll literally say, hey, Claude, I have this API key. Help me build a dashboard around it. That is it. If you want a further explanation of this video and a live build of me building literally every single thing, check out our AI marketing community down below. I have more plug and play, ready to go resources there. Now, once the data is secure, and again, ask Claude to assess you. Say, hey, Claude, I'm trying to grab data for my marketing. What questions do you have for me? It's going to say, hey, I have 10 questions for you, Bob. Then Bob, you're Bob. I'm going to answer those questions, go back and forth, and then Claude will give you all the APIs you need, all the platforms you need. You get those API keys, you give it to Claude, boom, data is now secure. Good job. We can move on to number 2, which is storage. You need to make sure that when you have all this data, you're structuring everything correctly. All right. Everything reads from these analytics, all right, in these files. So all JSON is, it's just a file, right? So I have my YouTube, Instagram audience, Instagram posts, TikTok posts, JSON. They're just files that get added on to every single time. So it's not pulling from YouTube, it's pulling from youtube.json. So Claude reads in the backend. And like I mentioned before, our automation runs every 6 hours or once a day at 6 a.m. and it pulls YouTube's information into YouTube JSON, Instagram information into Instagram JSON, so forth and so on, right? So these are the ones I actually have set up behind the scenes. And another type of file is the .yaml. Now, I'm not even familiar with what that means and why it's good, but this seems to be best for tracking live competition. So I have 21 to 40 competitors I track at a given time, and they're all dumped into this .yaml file, right? So if I had to add a competition, it would go into that file. If I had to remove one, it would be taken out of that file. Now my competitor buckets, .md is a markdown file, so it's like a text file almost, and these are the buckets that everything is stored in. Now, if you don't know where to start, all you're going to do again is once you have all of the data sources, so you have all of your data sources, you're gonna go to Claude, what folder structure, this is, guys, this is literally what I did. So I'm not trying to shortchange you here. This is the process I took to make this happen. What folder structure makes the most sense? I am trying to track XYZ data for XYZ purposes using XYZ API keys. I'm trying to track my marketing data to decrease ad spend using Apify, or I'm trying to track my team spend to decrease my team members using Apify, whatever the API service is, right? So those are just some examples. You literally ask Claude this. Claude will create the folder structure for you and go from there. And this is best done, guys, in Claude Code, okay? There's regular Claude, there's Claude Cowork, there's regular Claude, there's Claude Code, there's Claude Cowork. Highly recommend learning this. Don't be scared by the word code. I have so many tutorials and demos on my page of what is possible with Claude Code. I have a whole course as well within the community if you want to check that out. This is where you should be starting to build this, right? Because it's more advanced and it's going to code the entire thing for you. So you're actually not coding using Claude Code, so it will literally just do the rest for you. And again, to reiterate the point here, everything is on your computer. That's the best part. Everything is just living on your computer. You're not sending this anywhere. It's not on the cloud, no database. It's just on your computer. So Claude is down. That's not good. You still need to access your data. You still need to do all these things. Well, it's fine because on your laptop, this is your laptop, all the files are still here. So what you could do, and I cover this in another video, is you could go and run a local model. So a local AI model. It's on your computer that doesn't need Wi-Fi, that doesn't need internet, and it could still access data. Because all we're doing here, all these files, they're just on your computer. They're just on your Finder if you're on Mac. They're just literally files on your computer. That's all it is, right? So you own this. This is there for you. Now you can have a local AI model act on top of it. You could do whatever you want because sometimes Claude will go down. This is a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. Running AI locally on your machine for marketing is insane because you could use it on the go. If you don't have Wi-Fi on the plane, you can use it there. There are a lot of cons to this because it's not as good and it's expensive, or it's not expensive, but it can be depending on what you use, but it's a possibility. So that's how I want you to think of this. These folders are just on your computer. That's it. And then Claude's acting on top of these folders and manipulating the folders on your computer. That's all it's doing. And that's how I go about setting it up. Yours will look a little bit different depending on what you're tracking, but that's layer number 2, and that's storage. So we have the data and we've stored it correctly. All right, now for the fun stuff. Layer number 3 is intelligence. All right. So we have data, we have stored the data, but now it's just data. If I give you a bunch of numbers, you're like, well, I don't know what this is. That's what Claude's saying. Like, I don't know what this is. Let's give it insights and intelligence on top of the data. And this is where you come in, and this is where your expertise really lies. Because to Claude, it just has a bunch of data. To you, that data is meaningful. So you should be able to give Claude the following things, all right? These are my goals and KPIs, etc. Because again, if Claude sees this, so let's just use YouTube as an example, because again, I get everything from social media, everything from my YouTube channel. If I get 1,000 views on a video, Claude just knows I got 1,000 views. It doesn't know if that's good, doesn't know if it's bad. For me, I don't even care about views. I want leads. If I got 10 leads and I got 2 clients from that video that paid me $5,000, so 10K I made from this YouTube video. If that is the case, that is what I care about. And all this data is just data for Claude. That's all it is for me that actually means something. So this is where you tell Claude like, hey, it's 1,000 views. Doesn't really matter. I like it. I like 1,000 views. That's good. 10 leads is very important to me. 2 clients, FFK. So this 10K in revenue, very important for me. Claude, understand that this is the metric we need to track. So now you're taking all the numbers that Claude sees and giving Claude information about what is actually important, what it should understand, what it should prioritize. All right. So that is basically taking raw data, giving intelligence behind the data. A really good example for my people that play baseball. I played baseball my whole life. If someone came up and say, hey, you're hitting at 300 and put like 300%, 0.3, 30%, that's horrible. Well, in the context of baseball, that's really good. All right. So numbers need intelligence. Numbers need to be explained. All right. And this is how you're going to do it right here. You're going to give it benchmarks, KPIs, goals, just going to give it what the data means. Okay. Now, how I actually display the data is in a few ways. We have growth charts. We have week over week deltas. So you want to be able to see the ROI per week or the growth or decline per week. So if I go here, I'm actually down across all socials on reach. I reached less than 100K people in the last 30 days, which I want to be at. I want to be above that, etc. We also have one for short form, which is even better. It looks better here. So basically last month I was at 61K views. This month I'm at 6.8. So I'm on pace to beat my previous month. You just want to look at stuff in terms of that nature because week over week is how you're supposed to look at just business growth overall. Content velocity. This is something that not a lot of people talk about. Content velocity is how many views you're getting per hour. This shows the trajectory of a video. This is like deep content strategy stuff. So you don't have to worry about that. Audience demographics is always huge. You want to make sure you're talking to the right person. Again, going back to number one, who is your ICP? It needs to know that. It needs to know your ICP. It needs to know context. All right. So that's big. Competitor feed. You always want to be tracking your competitors and seeing what it's doing. And then per video performance, obviously. So again, you give context to Claude and then display the videos or display the data through Claude. All right. So we have data sources, data storage, intelligence, which is making the data mean something and displaying the data at the same time. This is where the actual dashboard is formed. Number four, we have action. The best part, taking action on the data. And why this is so important is because Claude cannot take action on data it doesn't understand. So if I make 10K in a video that gets 1,000 views, and that's a bad thing for me, Claude now knows that. I should be shooting for 15 or 20K per video, right? If that's a metric that we're looking for. So you have to take these things into account and really go hard on giving Claude meaning behind the numbers. This is going to get you really far. And using Claude and using a dashboard like this to get further. So this is where insight becomes content or insight becomes actual marketing and strategy. A few things we have actually hooked up as I have Airtable. So a non-tech way to do this is through Airtable. It's not as sexy as this. It's not going to look very cool, but Airtable does the job, right? So in Airtable that I could bring up right here on my entire YouTube flow. So I have everything from my ideas to a scripter, to a knowledge base, to a content calendar, to my progress for the week. Like I have everything in here. This was built before Claude Code came around. Like this is my entire YouTube dashboard. We've also had our clients make over $500,000 using this exact same dashboard. It works really well. If you're posting content, this works insanely well. If you want those case studies, they'll be linked down below. You could use this, totally cool, or you could do something like this, right? So I have two options for you guys. You use your Airtable content bank, or you could use something like this, Claude Code skills. You could take skills and embed them here. And so you could take actions on behalf of the dashboard, essentially. So think about it in that type of way, right? We're just displaying the data either in Airtable or in a dashboard like this. And now we could take action on that. Now I'm going to focus in here on Claude skills because that is what matters. For example, if I start a new Claude Code session and bring this down, by the way, I'm operating in Claude Code right now. Like this has all been Claude Code so far. What I could do is something like this. Let me just do trend scanner. So this is taking action on data. Same thing if I did, and I'll run these in parallel just so you guys can see what is possible here. Same thing if I did this competition, scan competition on YouTube. So my competition on YouTube, which lives here, is being acted on here. Same data behind the scenes, different ways of interacting with it. That's literally it. All right. Same thing if you reduce to Airtable, it'd be less intuitive, a little bit more tricky. This is a little bit easier, but the data is just behind the scenes. I'm displaying the data here. I'm taking action on the data here. All right. If I like something in here, I could just say, hey, update my actual dashboard with XYZ information. All right. So these two things work together. If you have questions, please leave them down in the comments and I'll be doing my best to answer. Also, this free doc will help you out a little bit. So feel free to grab that as well. Now, while those two work, let's see what else. We have my YouTube session skill, which gives me my entire YouTube video. All my thumbnails are by AI as well. We have YouTube title writers, scan competition, analyze my YouTube shorts clipper. So I could automatically make shorts every single day, LinkedIn posts and newsletter, just using / commands. Again, we're taking action on the data, taking action on the data. That's all it is. And then everything can be layered back to data one or back to layer one, right? Which is really cool. So let's say, for example, this is where you get this sort of self-fulfilling loop going on here. I post a YouTube video. Let's go back to that old example. Makes me 10K. Let's say it's a great thing. I could feed that back to the data sources and I could feed that back to intelligence saying, hey, 10K video is really good. This video got 10K. Let's make more videos like this. Do you see how this sort of becomes a flywheel here? So this number, give it to Claude. Now Claude knows this number is good. Claude rewrites instructions to get more good numbers. 10K is good. 100,000 videos or 100,000 views on a video is good. Claude recognizes that. Claude will then write instructions because it's a smart AI model to get that good number again. And you get this flywheel here. And that's with anything. All right. So that's really powerful there. Probably my favorite part is like, you just need to take action on the system and then feed live data back into the system. That's all. Bonus is if you do it with team members, you can feed all these different data sources in here. But that's how you get this self-fulfilling loop of things that actually work over time. All right. And then let's check back in on the skills. Again, the skill is taking action on intelligent data that we stored correctly. That's all we're doing here. All right, those are the 4 layers. That's what we're doing. You can see the scan competition is done, and this is exactly what it did. So look how cool this is. This is taking action on data that I gave Claude when I first set it up, which is step number 1, data, data, data. All right, so now Claude went and just basically gave me an entire YouTube strategy. Make this video, make this video, make this video. Here's some other videos. This one's a massive outlier, 75x. It gives me the trending topics. So AI agents, Claude Code, NAN, ChatGPT, YouTube growth strategies. Look how much this is. I don't need a content strategist. I don't need any of that because I set up, stored the data in an organized way for Claude to take action on, gave the data meaning through intelligence, and now I can take action on that data. Whether it's scanning competition, whether it's creating a new offer, whether it's creating a landing page, whether it's creating a website, whatever it is, if you follow this 4-layer framework, not only can you create whatever I just showed you, but you can create something like this, where all of your marketing stuff is in one single place. This is game changing. I'm building all of them for my short form, for my long form, for my lead magnets. Everything is in one single place, and I'm just scratching the surface. If you learned something in this video, leave a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you want something like this built out for yourself, we'll completely handle it end to end. I'll leave a call link down below so you can book in some time with me directly. We could talk about building this out for your company because, again, it is game changing. If you want to attack these AI marketing skills by yourself, you want to upskill yourself as an agency owner or a marketer, I'll leave our community down below as well. And then finally, if you want the free guide, you could download that and replicate this for yourself. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I look at everything. If you enjoyed this video, you will love this one next, and I will see you there. Take care.